first of all, I must say that it is such a pleasure and a privilege to visit Calcutta, the intellectual capital of the country. Chancellor, Vice Chancellor, members of the governing board, deans, faculty, staff, friends and families of the graduating students, distinguished guests, honorary degree awardees, and most importantly, the graduating students and the honorary degree awardees. My felicitations to you on this joyous occasion. I am indeed delighted to be part of the celebration of the success of the graduating class. Congratulations to the passing out students, their parents, their guardians, and their teachers. This is the time for you, the graduating students, to salute your parents, guardians, and teachers for their sacrifice and the support to you during your successful marathon. Dear graduating students, graduation is a watershed event in one's life. Today you are making a commitment to yourself and to the Indian society to be competent, informed, disciplined, honest, hardworking, proactive, fair, enthusiastic, and committed agents of our country's progress. Progress in every society requires an optimal utilization of the available resources. Competent engineers and scientists like you are scarce resources in a developing country like India. They must be leveraged optimally and even more carefully than the other resources like raw materials, finance, domestic and foreign investments, and infrastructure. This country has made impressive economic progress during the last 3 decades. The expectations of our citizens have been raised. Why a nation fails to meet the expectations of its citizens' economic growth is not due to the paucity of talent or of other resources. It is due to the lack of professionalism of the country's educated youth. Hence, I will talk to you today about the importance of professionalism for our country and how every one of you can become a high-quality professional. This is a topic close to my heart. The contents of this speech are very similar to the ones I have given a couple of times in the past on similar occasions. After all, the occasion is similar. Therefore, my message too is similar. Who is a professional? A professional is one who is dedicated to his or her profession and lives by its rules and ethics. The profession can be engineering, science, medicine, music, law, or a game like cricket. Such a professional is value-based, competent, and focused on service to the society. Today I will dwell on the qualities that help create this mindset. Whenever I use the word he, I mean both male and female professionals. A professional owes allegiance primarily to his profession and not to any person. Accordingly, he does not let personal relations interfere with his professional dealings. He is fair and is unbiased. He starts every transaction on a zero base and does not carry any bias from prior transactions to the current transaction. He makes objective decisions based on the analysis of the available data. He believes and operates according to the principle, in God I trust, everybody else must bring data to the table. Thus, everyone in the organization, no matter how high or low he or she is in the institutional hierarchy, has an equal opportunity to convince him on any issue. Consequently, everyone is confident, happy, and enthusiastic in dealing with him. He has high aspirations since he believes that this is the first step in achieving a noble goal. He believes in the adage, a plausible impossibility is better than a convincing possibility. The world is his state. His most powerful resources are his intellect, his knowledge, his mindset, his value system, and his time. A value system is a protocol for a professional's actions to enhance the trust, confidence, energy, and enthusiasm of every other member of that community in that professional. Integrity, trustworthiness, honesty, discipline, hard work, courage, conviction, fairness, transparency, open-mindedness, respect for pluralism, accountability, courtesy, putting the interests of the institution above one's personal interests, and personal sacrifice for the larger causes or the attributes of any value system that a professional should practice. A professional's desirable value system results in a decent and harmonious behavior. A professional drives hard to be open-minded since he knows that the most dangerous thing in the world is a closed mind. He constantly acquires new knowledge and keeps his intellect sharp while practicing his profession. His attitude towards learning is summed up by late Albert Einstein, who said, intellectual growth should commence at birth and cease only at death. A big impediment to a country's economic progress is the lack of focus on individual and institutional productivity. The only way poverty can be removed in any country is if the citizens improve their productivity by working hard and smart, and if they are disciplined. A professional uses his discipline, proaction, innovation, and hard work to improve his work and output productivity. While a professional excels as an individual, he also works in full synergy with his team. His teamwork is exemplified by the words of the American basketball legend Michael Jordan, that talent wins games, but teamwork wins championships. The best example of teamwork, my friends, is a symphony orchestra where several accomplished musicians work in harmony as a team under the direction of the conductor to produce music that is divine. Thus, every professional should operate like a musician in a symphony orchestra. This is particularly crucial in today's world where large and complex projects require outstanding teamwork. A professional's contribution to any organization or his ability to think, to analyze, to ask Socratic questions, to draw logical conclusions, to learn from other people, to innovate, to articulate and take quick and decisive actions to solve problems and make the context better. He achieves progress by taking tough and fair decisions in a transparent manner, by upholding his value system at all times, by always focusing on the institutional goals, and by maintaining the confidence, hope, enthusiasm, and energy of his team. Friends, we live in an increasingly globalized world. Global corporations operate in multiple countries across time zones in a seamless manner. They draw talent from where it is best available, produce where it is most cost effective, source capital from where it is cheapest, and sell where the markets are, without being constrained by national boundaries. Hence, professionals must learn to deal with other cultures and other points of view confidently, courteously, and with respect. And of course, learn from other cultures. This requires the suppression of individual and national egos. Being confident and open-minded helps one to absorb the best practices from other cultures. While we operate in a global village, it is important for all of us to remember that without a national identity, professionals have no identity and no purpose. Therefore, the first duty of a professional is to contribute to his or her nation's progress. Such a progress depends on creating a lofty vision, converting it to actionable items, allocating resources based on merit to achieve success in these actions, shunning corruption, being disciplined, taking decisions and actions with a sense of alacrity, demonstrating excellence in executing these action items, and constantly monitoring the progress of the project and making mid-course corrections when necessary. Your responsibility to drive progress is even more compelling in a developing country like India, where your less fortunate brethren have made huge sacrifices to provide you, the passing out graduates, with good education. While you have received education from this prestigious institution, many of our citizens do not have access even to secondary education, clean air, potable water, electricity, minimum nourishment, at least a skeletal shelter, and basic health care. Remember that a civilized society is one where each generation makes the required sacrifices to better the life of the next generation. By practicing universal values of pluralism, honesty, discipline, hard work, transparency, accountability, commitment, decency, and fairness, you will ensure that the future generations will have a larger number of high-quality professionals like you, coming from the rich and the poor, the urban and the rural, the powerful and the weak, and from all religions, castes, languages, regions, and all classes. I want you to remember that India, despite her laudable economic progress of the last 3 decades, has unresolved problems in poverty, population, potable water, clean air and land availability for housing and agriculture, as well as in education, in nutrition and in healthcare. Ever since the excesses of forced sterilization during the emergency of the mid-70s, our country has not put population control on the front burner. India's per capita land availability is just 7% of the United States. It is just 5% of Brazil, and it is 1/3 that of China among the countries with large land masses. An article in the Technology Review from MIT has said that acute water shortage has already become India's problem. India has only 4% of world's fresh water, but has 16% of world's population. Newspapers tell me that 1.6 million people die in India every year due to various causes resulting from air pollution. India has the largest number of undernourished children in the world. The 3 Indian cities rank amongst the 10 most polluted cities in the world. The most urgent need, therefore, my friends, is to reduce our population growth rate. While certain parts of India have been making decent progress in reducing their population growth rate, certain other parts have not paid sufficient attention to this important issue. The population issue has the potential to wreak havoc on our country in the next 20 to 25 years. Therefore, my young friends, please emphasize the importance of reducing population growth rate in every gathering that you are part of. This brings me to yet another important set of values that all of our citizens, including professionals like you, must strive hard to achieve. President Franklin D. Roosevelt defined a true democracy as having 4 freedoms: freedom of expression, freedom of faith, freedom from fear, and freedom from want. A democracy works best in an environment of pluralism, where every citizen has the freedom to practice one's own beliefs and faith without imposing it on others and without hampering the progress of others. Where one has the freedom to express one's opinion responsibly, objectively, courteously, and fearlessly. And where one has the freedom to seek a better quality of life. This translates to a responsibility to create a just society as defined by the 20th century American philosopher John Rawls. Such a society embraces 2 fundamental principles. The first is to provide the strongest set of civil liberties and personal rights to every one of its citizens without exception. The second is its ability to tolerate new economic inequalities only if such inequalities ameliorated the situation of the poor citizens. A good example of the latter principle is providing incentives for government doctors to go to rural India to serve others. Democracy in India will prosper only if we create a mindset that highlights the commonality of our beliefs rather than our differences. Making India the best country in the world requires the best from every one of you, my young friend. English language has the largest collection of knowledge, books, journals, magazines, blogs, and articles on science, technology, medicine, law, management, economics, and all other professional subjects. Therefore, please focus on English and continue to improve the quality of your English every day and benefit from this most useful and powerful language in the world. Choose a dream worthy of yourself. Go after it confidently. Let me borrow the words of Eleanor Roosevelt to exhort you not to follow where the path may lead, but to go instead where there is no path and leave a trail. Lead a life of courage, adventure, joy, purpose, compassion, honesty, open-mindedness, respect for the opinion of other people, tolerance, sacrifice, and fulfillment. Lead a life that your alma mater will be proud of. Donate at least a small part of your savings to this hallowed institution so that it can educate even more youngsters like you in the future than it does today. But most importantly, be a professional in your mindset and in your actions. Finally, let me talk to you about my dream for India. I want an India where the poorest child in the remotest corner of the country has access to decent education, healthcare, nutrition, shelter, and opportunity for bettering its life and the life of its progenies. For this to happen, my young friends, you must have high aspirations. You must enhance your competence constantly. You will have to practice enduring values. You will have to work hard. You must be disciplined. You must put the interest of our country ahead of your personal and family interests. You should become globally competitive in innovation and productivity. I am confident that you will fulfill the obligations bestowed on you this day by the Chancellor, the Co-Chancellor, the Vice-Chancellor and the Pro-Chancellors, the Deans, the faculty and your seniors. My best wishes to every one of you in this aspirational task. Thank you very much.